All right, this is chapter B, section 4, multiplying rational numbers. You can follow along on page 568 in your textbook, and you can also use a calculator during this section. When you are multiplying rational numbers, it's important that you use the same rules as multiplying integers, those positive and negative rules that we went over. Just to recap, if you have a negative times a positive or a positive times a negative where they're different, your answer will always be negative. And if you have two of the same, so two negatives or two positives that you're multiplying together, your answer will always be positive. So let's look at this one. Remember, you can use a calculator in this section. Negative 2.5 times 3.6. Think about it. You have a negative times a positive, which means your answer is going to be negative. You can work this out, or you could use a calculator. Remember, when you multiply decimals, you don't line them up. They're already lined up here, but you don't have to line them up and drop it down. You count how many numbers are behind the decimal points in the problem. So there's one here and one here, which gives me 2 decimal places. When I get my answer, I have to move from the right to the left 2 decimal places to place the decimal. So the answer would be 9.00 or just 9. Let's look at another example. We have a negative 1/4 times a negative 4/3. Right away I see 2 negatives. I know that my answer is going to be positive. Remember, when you multiply fractions, you multiply across the top, multiply across the bottom, or you could do some cross canceling. So I just did the 1 times 4 and 4 times 3. I got 4/12. And you can divide by 4 on top and bottom to get a simplified fraction of 1/3. In this case right here, you could have cross canceled with your 4s and made them each 1, which would give you 1 times 1 and 1 times 3, which would get you to the answer quicker. Let's see, you try now. So I want you to try these. You can use a calculator if you want. You have 5/6 times negative 8/15, positive times a negative. It's going to give you a negative answer. Here we have 0.4 times negative 0.03, positive times a negative. It's going to give you a negative for your answer. And then here, this one's a little tricky. There's 3 of them. So we have negative 8 times a positive 0.09 times a negative 0.5. Well, let's think about this. I know that 2 negatives are going to give me a positive answer, and then a positive times a positive would give me a positive answer. So this one's probably going to have a positive answer. Go ahead and work those out. Pause the video if you need to. I'm going to go through those answers here real quick. So the first one, if you multiply, you're going to get 5 times 8, 6 times 15. I got 40 over 90 divided by 10 on top and bottom. Got 4/9, and my answer needs to be negative, so it is a negative 4/9. This one, we get negative 0.012. 4 times 3 is 12, and I have that extra 0 in there, so the answer is negative. And the last one, here I got 9 times 5 is 45. I got an extra 0, so 0.045. Negative, because that's a positive times a negative. So then I took that answer, multiplied it by the negative 8 out here, which gives me 0.36, which is positive. Hopefully you got those right. Thumbs up. Your assignment. Your assignment is textbook, page 571, 10 through 21, and page 572, 27 through 32. So if you're working out of the textbooks, that's what I would like you to do. Or you can go to bigideasmath.com. There's a chapter B, section 4 practice there. And remember, you can use a calculator and you can check up to 2 times on that. Okay, good luck.